let's take a look at how to make the Assassin's Creed Eagle Vision. So the first thing that we're going to do here is, if you notice, I'm just using the third-person project that we've used a few times on the channel now. But I'm just using this little cube here. I gave him a little normal map so that we can see that we can transfer some of the details over in this. So that would be my rigid body. Rigid body here. It's got a mesh instance and it has a collision. That's all. It's nothing real fancy. We have a mesh instance here and it just has a material on it. This material just has a blue color on it for the albedo. The transparency is set to depth pre-pass. And I just have a normal map on it because, as you would with typically any 3D model, you're going to have a normal map on there of some sort. That's where these details are showing up from. Alright. And then I've created 3 other materials for this. I've created the hostile, the friendly, and the target material. And all of these are effectively the exact same. The only difference here is the color that I'm using. So you can see here we have no normal map in use. The only thing I've done is I've changed the albedo to the color I want to use. And under transparency, I have no depth test. And my material, the default material that we're using here has a render priority of 0. I've given my eagle, hostile, and friendly a priority of 1. So once you have that set up, then we can head straight into, I'm sorry, not quite into our scripts yet. My rigid body here, I've gone ahead and added that into a group. And the reason why I've added that into a group here, and I just named the group Eagle, it's just so that I can have it so all, right, so you can set it for like all NPCs would be able to change to their own respective colors, right? Whenever you activate it, everyone in the scene is going to do it. Now you could also go further and have it set up so it's based off a distance. So if the player is within X distance, then they could change their material. So you could do without it. Right now, we're not doing that. We're just automatically changing it for everyone that is in that group. So let's go ahead and take a look. So first thing, I've gone up to project, gone into my project set here, input map, and I've gone ahead and created an Eagle Vision button here, which I'm just using V, right? V for vision. And on my player, I've gone ahead and I just said if input is action just pressed, Eagle Vision. And then I'm going to match a new boolean that I created, Eagle Active. So I'm just keeping track of whether Eagle Vision is turned on or off. And it's false by default. So when I activate it, or when I hit the button, if it's currently false, which it will be at the beginning, we're going to set Eagle Active to true. And then we're going to do get tree, call group, so, Eagle. So this is going to tell every node that's inside of the Eagle group to run this function. And this function needs to be on the node that is running, or that is part of this group, right? So my rigid body is inside of the Eagle group, so rigid body needs to be the one that holds the script that has this function. And we're doing the same thing. So if we hit our vision button and our Eagle Active is set to true, so if our Eagle Vision is on, then we're going to change the boolean to be off, and we're going to tell the group of Eagle to call their function Eagle Deactivate to remove this Eagle Vision effect off of them. And you can see with the tween that I have commented out, you could go further. You could have yourself a little screen effect, tint the screen, and let the player know a little more that they've been changed, or things have been changed here. And now on my character that's inside of the Eagle group, we go ahead and take a look. I've created an enum called Eagle Type, target enemy friendly, and I've exported a variable called NPC type that type that we're casting it as is our enum. So now I can go into my NPC here, and I can just select from the dropdown whether they're a friendly, an enemy, or a target, and this is going to determine what effect gets placed on them. So when we call eagle activate, we're going to check if NPC type is eagle type target, else if NPC type is equal type enemy, and else if NPC type is equal type friendly. Now we could use a match statement here as well, just like we did on the player when activating. But the only thing that's going to change here for the most part is this eagle material line. So what we're doing is we're going to get our eagle material. That's going to be a standard material, and we just load in that material, right? So we're going to load in, like in this case, eagle target.material that I created. I'm going to create a duplicate of it, and you probably don't have to set this to true. You can probably just leave it as false, which the default is fine. But I just set it to true just to be safe. I'm going to get a hold of my mesh, right? So the actual cube that is there. I'm going to get the material on that cube, which since this is a default cube, it only has one surface. So get surface override material 0. Now, if you have other meshes, you might have some meshes that have more than one material for you to take a look at. And I want the details of my cube to come through. Remember, if we take a look here, we have all these bumps for the light to affect it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the normal of that. So I got my variable here, norm, and I'm just grabbing the material, grabbing the normal texture, and creating a duplicate of it. And with that, I can now grab my eagle material, regardless of what kind it is. Set the normal enabled, set to true, so that we can use a normal map. And then I set the normal texture equal to the texture we took off of the base material that we're using, right? So our norm variable. And then I go ahead and just grab the material. I set the next pass equal to our eagle material. And so what's that doing is that's going into mesh instance here. We're going into our surface material overrides. We're getting material 0, right? So we're going to look at this. We get material 0. We're going to go inside of there. We're going to take a look at the normal map here. We're going to look at the texture. We're going to grab this and copy it so that we can use it. And what we're doing is we're grabbing the next pass and we're setting that equal to a material, in this case the target. So we're setting it there. And our eagle material, we're taking that normal map that we copied. We're enabling the normal and pasting it in here. That's all we're doing. So it's nothing too complex at all. We're just copying the normal details over and changing a color. Now that render priority is going to make a difference here. So if I come in here and take a look, I hit V, there's our render there. So you can see this is with our eagle material being rendered at a priority of 1 and our default here being rendered at a priority of 0. Now, what if we change that? Right? So I'm going to go into the material. What if they're both 0? Why did we change this? Well, we can take a look and we can see, oh, we do have a nice little appearance there. Appearance changing there, but on certain angles, you may get a weird effect that's not intended, where they're kind of almost like fighting or one showing when it shouldn't. So that's just a little bit of a precautionary take. And as you can see here, when they're both equal like this, it's only going to show when we're looking through a wall, which obviously is not exactly what we want here, right? Because if you activate eagle vision and you're staring at it, they're going to be glowing. They're going to have the target color, but we're not going to see that unless we go behind the wall. So we actually need that to render ahead. Oops. Okay. And I'm going to need to actually restart that in order for that to take effect. You can see that render priority has changed the effect that we're going for here. So if you have them on the same level, we kind of have this X-ray vision going on. So if you wanted to create an X-ray vision and the previous video wasn't exactly what you had in mind, maybe this is something more that you were looking for. But with the render priority sorted out, we have an eagle vision. And now if we wanted, we can go in and we can set the glow if we wanted to do that, because I know in some games we kind of have a bit of a glow going. So you can set that as well if you wanted. And with the different targets, I'm sure I've shown this by now, but all we have to do is just come in, change the NPC type. So if we change it to enemy and we run it, I'm going to get my red shader, my red material. All right, they're going to functionally identical, and if we change it to friendly, we're going to get the blue when we activate it. All right, so there you go. There's how we can go ahead and recreate the eagle vision effect that they use inside of Assassin's Creed. And it's very easy to add new types on there. So if you want to add a new one, just come in friendly. We say, right, we can just come in and be like hide spot. Now we got hide spot in our drop down. We can come in, we can just add another line here, right? We can basically just copy all of this here and just say, and just add another else if NPC type equals eagle type dot hide spot. And then you just come in and you pick a different material. So if you're following the same naming convention, you then do eagle hide spot. And for that, you just come down to your materials down here, right click, duplicate, and you could just come in, rename eagle hide spot. Double click to open it up, change the color, we'll go with the green. All right, I've gone ahead and just added the next else if in there. We have our material there to be green. I'll go to my NPC character, I'll change it to hide spot, run it, take a look, activate. We have blue because I did not change the name. Hide spot should be eagle, not friendly material. Hide spot material. Now when I run it, boom, it's green. So it's as simple as that to add more materials and more visual or colorful identifiers, so you can have different colors for your eagle vision, right? So it's as simple as that. Add a new else if, duplicate a material, change the color, and that's really it. Oh, and add another type into your All right, that's it. Take care. Have yourselves a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.